Right, in this video, I'm going to break down how you can use LinkedIn to book 20 to 30 appointments per month using this hybrid outbound and inbound strategy. I booked 32 appointments in the last month using this strategy. And so by the end of this video, you should know how to do exactly the same thing to place it into your own agency and just book calls for fun, right? So the first things first is the outbound strategy. What most people do is they look at their market and they just outreach to anyone in it. With LinkedIn Sales Navigator, with AI tools like Phantom Buster, with scrapers like Applify, we no longer need to just outreach to anyone that's technically in our market. We can actually outreach to people that are only showing interest in whatever we're selling. So what you want to do is outreach to people who are already problem aware because they are way more open to looking for a solution. So you want to scrape likes, comments, replies, followers of accounts targeting your ICP. Or you can just use Sales Navigator and do proper filtering and then use that and put it into a platform called Clay where you can enrich the data and actually get these people's phone numbers, their emails, and you can do omni-channel outreach. You can get more information about them so you can just ultra personalize your outreach to them. The first step is stranger to attention. So the outreach strategy is 20. You want to send 20 voice notes or like videos per day. You can choose whichever one you want to do. You want to personalize the message, but don't overdo it. So just like say, if you're targeting agencies, for example, just say, hey, I noticed you're running an agency. That's all the personalization you need. It's like if you're in the real estate niche, you just apply that logic. Don't overdo it. You want to ask a question that relates to their problem or their goal. So you don't want to go straight for offers. You don't want to do any of that. It's 2025. People don't want to get pitched straight away. You want to add a unique mechanism. This is one of the most important things because you can ask a question that a lot of people might be asking, but if it comes with a unique mechanism, they think it's going to be something new and like it's like the new opportunity psychological thing. You want a soft CTA, so you want to pitch them essentially to send them a video, and the video is converting attention to interest, which is an MP4 downloaded Loom video going over your offer, your results, case studies, doing a system deep dive of like the service you provide at a high level without going into details. Like if you're an ad agency doing Facebook ads, you don't want to talk about Facebook ads. You almost want to add this unique mechanism like you did before so that they actually think it's a new opportunity. Then what you want to do is send a CTA to a Calendly. You generate meeting from interest by having just a good Calendly form. So you want to ask target monthly revenue, you want to ask problems, stopping them from getting there, show up question, and sole decision maker. You only want to ask this stuff because you don't want to add much friction for cold traffic. You don't want to be, for inbound traffic, it's a bit different. You might want to qualify a bit more, but you want the least amount of friction possible for cold traffic. The key points here, you need to sound different to everybody else at every step. You want to follow forever on positive replies. You want to track the metrics at every stage. So at each of these stages we've talked about. It's like the overall metric you want to know is meetings booked to the amount of outreaches that you send, because that's going to give you your appointment booking rate, and then you can adjust based on that. You want to do this consistently, so do it every single day, no questions asked. So that's the outbound strategy. That alone will work, but when you couple it with this, it's actually insane. And this doesn't really take that much time to actually do on a platform like LinkedIn, because the strategy that I use, the strategy I think is going to become like the meta strategy, is just make sure you're posting YouTube videos. So like 2-3 videos a week, just non-negotiable. If you don't have time, just do one a week. What you want to do is plug the transcript of that video into Claude AI, which is a platform I'm sure you've heard of. You want to use that to make all your short form content, and then you use the feedback from that short form content that it's creating to essentially keep prompting it until it's literally perfect. So I'm going to give an example of this. This is the one I run. So so just here. So you run a Claude project. You do need a pro subscription for this. It's like $30 a month. It's not that expensive. What you want to do is have project knowledge inside of Claude, where you pretty much give it a prompt like this. So overall, you will be tasked with processing YouTube transcripts to create high-performing short-form content for multiple platforms. Each piece of content should stand out on its own, or driving audience engagement and conversions based on the strategies outlined below. Then you want to give it content types. I think there's 3 main content types that you should actually use to get warm inbound leads to them them into the DMs and then book them into your calendar. Or just these content types are really good because anyone that you're outreaching to, sending these voice notes to, these Loom videos to, that are obviously natively downloaded. You don't want to send Loom video because they're going to go out of the platform. When you do these YouTube repurposing posts, when you do pure short form value posts, when you do the giveaway posts, so whether it's a lead magnet you've got or another YouTube video, you essentially add more trust to the cold traffic before they even hop on a call with you, so that you probably have to handle less objections. Everything is a bit easier. So yeah, YouTube repurposing posts, so you give it some prompts. Convert YouTube transcripts into short scripts, 5 to 8 lines maximum. Keep content high level and benefit driven. Address specific pain points, use frameworks strategically. Goal, drive them to the YouTube channel. Now, when I say use frameworks, what I've done is the short form that I've actually created before, or the YouTube repurposing transcripts, I've put them into Claude as like almost inspiration, so it knows how to knows how to create similar types of short forms for a different type of idea for a different YouTube video. And so it just works insanely well. Then you have these other 2 types of posts. Then you give it some general guidelines. So 1 clear idea per post. One of the biggest things with inbound, just like copywriting in general, is just one main idea, focusing on one thing so that people can actually like get the value, or they're not confused by what you're doing. You want a simple single line sentences, mountain copies. You want short and long sentences. If you notice any of the big guys in like on LinkedIn, they're always doing long lines and short lines because it's easier to read like that. It just naturally flows. Most posts use single lines of text, use listicles and steps, connector phrases. So like connector phrases like here's why, or what, or how. Like these short lines that make it easier to read again. Stay focused, avoid know-it-all, being too direct. Write for a 3rd or 5th grader. We know copywriting is just very simple stuff. Right? No exclamation marks or needy language. Keep posts short. Use story marketing where appropriate. And then I make sure that you can do this as well for whatever niche you're in. Make sure that it doesn't actually copy or like plug and play the scripts that you gave it into the new ideas that you wanted to generate from the YouTube transcripts that you give it. So like never copy and paste scripts, create new angles, adapt to new project knowledge, learn from edited versions, improve based on feedback, avoid creating posts similar to previous ones. Then you have your content strategy, which is like unique market of one. So you want Claude to actually make posts that position you differently to the rest of your market, which is the same as the outreach principle. People want a new opportunity. They want someone different, because then your offer is only going to matter once they think this is a new opportunity. High value content solving problems, volume, consistency, belief shifting content. So like what you want to do is all your content should provide value, and that's like 3 biggest variables of value, like consistency and doing it consistently over time with high volume. But like you also want to be changing your market's beliefs so that they align with what it needs to be to actually buy your product in the future once they know, like, and trust you enough from all the content you've been making. Like I said, this also helps with outbound as well, which is why it's like so overpowered, because it's going to actively increase your appointment booking rates on the outreach that you're doing. Because if, let's be honest, in 2025, if you're not posting anything at all, you've got a weird profile, you're just going to get destroyed by competitors. So you need to do both. That's not an excuse to not do outreach. Outreach is still the most important thing, and it's going to grow your agency like the fastest. But you just running content alongside it is the long-term play, but it also helps right now. Content value types, so solution, information, perspective, so any type of value you can give to the market. And then there's like macro content components. So if I'm an agency on it, helps other agencies get more clients, but on a macro content, there's all these things like offer creation, psychology, mindset, appointment booking, sales, cold email, cold DM, YouTube marketing, content marketing. This is all something you plug into Claude, and it just spits out really good short form content so you can essentially automate all your short form content. All you have to do is post on YouTube like a few days a week. And then just giving it some context about an inbound funnel. You want content to drive to YouTube, or you want to then sell people in the DMs. YouTube converts through the VSL funnel that you create from the YouTube channel in your description. I give it my offer as well, so it knows that. And I give it some like ongoing process, I guess, frameworks here, so that it's never like stagnating. It's always like changing based on what I give it. And so like this is what I use to do all my short form content. And because I just make YouTube videos, and then I use Claude to essentially automate the whole thing. Now, if you combine both of these things, you will just book calls on autopilot. So you'll book 20 or 30 appointments from one account. if you want to scale it, you can get to more accounts. And if you want to automate things, you can use platforms like Triggerfy to automate LinkedIn approaches. And also you can use, and there is a private software that I'm using, which is invite only, but there's also one that is called HeyReach that can automate LinkedIn for you. So that one will work. And yeah, just overall, just use this to book calls on autopilot on LinkedIn.